Hi, everyone. This is Jacqui Cooper with JCooperTravels, and I want to welcome everyone back to this episode. Definitely like and subscribe because there are a lot of new drops or episodes that will be coming in the next week or so, and I don't want you to miss any of them. So today is a really fun day because I have a friend on who I've also interviewed before about her business, and I will hop over to her in a quick second. And we're going to be talking about something that's really close to my heart, and it's about education. It's about a little bit about law, and it's also about blockchain, which is an area in the finance world that's becoming more known because of the cryptocurrency being on PayPal, on MasterCard and Visa, possibly, and different other portals. And, Bitcoin, the markets going up and down, a lot of people are becoming a lot more familiar with NFTs. They're becoming more familiar with the metaverse. I mean, again, there's a lot of terminology that is being incorporated into our everyday language. And as an educator, as well as a lawyer and a mom, I wanted to make sure that individuals kind of navigated this space in a way that was both fun but safe. And so back in the fall, around December, I sort of was gifted this story. And I ended up writing a book called The Bitcoin Cinderella. And the purpose of the Bitcoin Cinderella, yep, Stacy has the book, is to actually, in a fun fairy tale format, be an educational resource for adults who are new to this space, as well as families who are navigating the space because possibly, their teenager is saying, well, what is Bitcoin, or what is this all about? And I wrote this so it would be an ongoing resource. And we're going to talk more about that. But before we get into the nitty gritty of today's conversation, I want to welcome Stacy back to JCooperTravels. How are you doing today?
Thank you. I'm doing great. I'm super excited to be with you, and I love your book.
Thank you so much.
It's so good.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So we've done many, many episodes about you and your business, but individuals who might be hopping on this show might not know about your background. So why don't you go ahead and share a little bit more about what your background is, what you do, how people can reach you. And again, for everyone who's listening, all of the links will be in the blog below. So don't worry about that. If you want to reach out to Stacy or myself, all the contact information will be there. So why don't you go ahead and share a little bit?
Hey, I'm excited to do an intro, and I'm also excited to interview you. Today, I reached out to Jacqui and said, I love your book, and I have clients that ask me about Bitcoin and the blockchain all the time, and it is not my space, and I send them to you. I said, but why don't we do an interview? So, we could talk about your journey and travel and how you got here. So as you said, my name is Stacy Linderman. I'm with A6 Financial and Business Optimization. We serve companies that need chief financial officers on their team, or we work for their chief financial officer that needs an extra set of hands. Sometimes it's project-based, where other times it's one day a week, and we join the organization to help them with sustainability, growth, downsizing. In essence, we provide the in-house expertise for HR and finance. My passion is seeing the reality through the fog. And in many areas of finance, I consider myself a semi-expert. No one's ever an expert. We're lifelong learners. We want to just keep learning and learning and learning. But like I said, in connection to the Bitcoin and all the fancy terminology you're using, I am lost. I am so new to this space. We've had a couple conversations. I read and loved your book. My just turned 11-year-old read and loved the book, and we had a conversation about it. He has some questions. I can ask them later. But so before we talk about the book, tell me, Jacqui, when I send a client, a customer, an associate to you, and they want to know how to get started, what do you tell them? I'm never on those calls.
So usually when I have someone who's new to the cryptocurrency or blockchain space, I have to find out what their their goal is with learning this area. And I'm also, like you said, we're all lifelong learners, and there's so much information in this space, and it's evolving so fast. And I'm constantly reading I teach during the day, and then when I come back to my office, I'm constantly reading and navigating a variety of news portals. So my first goal, because I am a cryptocurrency consultant. Now, when I say
Oh.
cryptocurrency consultant, my other hat is CryptoMom2. So from that perspective, as a consultant in the blockchain, I tried to, like I said, I'm trying to find out if this is for an individual or for a business. If it's for an individual, I never give financial advice because, again, there's always risks when you are involved with any investment, but I try to provide information. I also try to provide guidance as to what to look for when you are being inundated with platforms that say that they're the best thing since sliced bread, because there are a lot of different new platforms that are being created, tokens, altcoins, NFT platforms. And depending upon where you want to be, then you have to kind of discern which ones have a history, which ones might be where you want to be. And with the reality that every business, whether it's blockchain or traditional, can fail. And you never know the liquidity behind the business. So you have to do your due diligence and research, and you also have to read the white paper, the information that is on the platform, and you have to ask questions. So really, when I have an initial client, I'm trying to find out, okay, what's their purpose? If their purpose is to integrate a point of sale type of option into their website so they can accept Bitcoin or cryptocurrency so they can sell their product or service, that's different than an individual who's trying to navigate for themselves. And, again, so that's kind of a quick overview as to what I do. And my whole purpose is to help reduce risks. And another thing that I'm about to become certified in, besides being an active lawyer, is in crypto forensics. I will be certified within the next week, so I can actually track down cryptocurrency if it ends up disappearing, or if there's fraud involved, or even if a company wants to see if the wallet that they're sending it to is a bad actor or a legit wallet. Because again, you can accept cryptocurrency, including Bitcoin, and you can send cryptocurrency and money, blockchain included. It's all traceable. You might not know who the party is because blockchain, there's more anonymity, but you can definitely trace where the path of the funds go. And so there's a lot of investigative work that's done behind the scenes, sometimes just to make sure that it's legit.
That is so interesting. You talked about that a little bit in the book, about all in just such a beautiful, relaxed story that for multi-generational. But you talked about it a little bit in the book in terms of like transferring the money, and was it secure and enough for my 11-year-old to understand?
Yeah. So integrated within the fairy tale are the tech terminology and definitions, and at the back is a glossary. But I really try to, Samantha is the Bitcoin Cinderella, and so she's actually on a journey to find her mom, and she knows nothing, so she is a real new to this space. So because of that, I was able to use her. She's really, in many ways, what I was many years ago, so new, asking all these questions. And in the story, I'm able to use her ignorance or lack of knowledge to be able to help define and help answer some of the initial questions that everyone has. And it's sort of as like when you think of it like going to school. When you go to school, you're in kindergarten, you learn your ABCs. And when you're in, first or second grade, you might learn, adding and subtracting, and everything that you learn is layered. And that's what I'm finding with myself too, is as I've become more comfortable with the terminology, I now am more open to some of the technical terms and seeing different things that are going on within the space, and the things that are connecting more for me, and I'm seeing just so many more layers of this, and the functionality of blockchain. I mean, the media picks up on the flash, the currency,
Yes.
the volatility of going up and down, and the possibility of profit, but there's and the possibility of loss. But really, there's so much more to the blockchain because of how it can translate information, secure information, and preserve information. There's a lot of different ways that commerce can actually will be and are using it.
Yes, I really like how in the book you take us through the journey as if we've heard none of the terminology, have never been in this world, and then you introduce us into this new space. It was done so creative, and you answer a lot of questions along the way, but it's done in this really entertaining story. You just did a beautiful job.
Thank you.
Really
It
did. You
was
really did.
really fun to write because I wanted to incorporate all the Cinderella elements because I love fairy tales. And so I knew I had to have, you know, the father and the stepmother. And I made the father a traditional banker, and the stepmom, you know, was kind of into the wealth side. And the names of both the steps daughters and the mom kind of reflect their kind of fall.
Yes, it was so cute. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. And I love that the father was a traditional banker.
Yeah. You know,
I thought that was great. That was a great spin on this is a different way to gain wealth and manage money and mitigate risk.
Yeah. And the mom, you know, in this Cinderella version, she doesn't die. She actually goes off onto an adventure, and she's one of the original blockchain engineers who worked with Satoshi, which we don't really know who the creators of Bitcoin are. So I took some literary license for that. So, but it allows Samantha, her daughter, to kind of navigate all the different adventures that she's going to go on in search of her mom. So the other books that are going to follow will be very in depth about Bitcoin mining, about metaverse, NFTs, everything that you can possibly think about, tokenization. But again, there'll be not simplified so that the content is incorrect, but simplified enough that individuals can understand the purpose behind it. And then there's online resources that I'm also, you know, going to be sharing as well.
So that was my son's question. Is there going to be a second book?
Yes.
I knew there was going to be because you read the pre and it's like, well, it's obvious there has to be a second book. It's such a nail biter. What's going to happen? But he said, Mom, is there going to be a second book? And find out when it's going to come out.
Yeah, there definitely is going to be a second book. This first book actually just got translated into Spanish, and I'm laying it out right now. And the release of that on Amazon will be July 1st. So it'll be bilingual Spanish, English. And there are other languages coming for this first book. They'll be in German and Portuguese and French, Swahili. I know I'm missing some languages, but the second book,
it's exciting.
It is. The second book I am thinking will probably be written maybe August, September, October. And so, and I haven't decided, I think I might be focusing on Bitcoin mining, but I haven't really focused. It really will, you know, as they say, the book speaks to you, and then you'll know which way you're, you know, writing it. Because
so the book is not written already in your head.
No, because I have to first decide, I have a skeleton for each of the topics. I sort of know the direction. Like in the Bitcoin mining side, I definitely want to talk about the environmental impact and about the various things that are going on within Bitcoin mining, because it is fascinating, the different companies, major companies that are involved. But I know that there are banks that are starting to offer Bitcoin and Bitcoin IRAs and things like that. And they're not just here in the United States, they're in Bermuda, there's other countries. So in the story,
that was one of my questions. Is this a United States or is it's international exchange?
It's international. And so that's one of the things that I'm, you know, trying to decide is she probably will be traveling around the world, and,
Ah,
and the thing is that I love to travel.
yes.
So I'm about to go to Dubai. So where I go will be part of the research of possibly where she, kind of has her next adventures. And also in the book, as you might have noticed, are pictures. And the pictures,
Yes.
there's no picture. The only picture that exists is of a girl is on the front cover. Every other picture in there is geographical. And I really wanted to have anyone who read the book picture themselves as part of the story. And so that way it was generic wherever. And so the pictures are a blend of places that we've traveled to. Portugal. I mean, if someone has traveled, they might spot different pictures, both
Mm.
from China to Portugal to Africa. So it's a lot of fun.
I like what you said very early on in our conversation about you do not help people with or tell people where to invest their money. That's similar to my company at A6. We're not financial advisors. We help them make the money and then we pass them on to the people. And then we can definitely recommend a financial advisor, but that's not our space. So you're saying you're staying out of that space also, but you're helping them get started.
Yeah, exactly. My purpose is to provide them with resources, a variety of resources, so that way they can make the decision that's best for themselves and their family. I definitely will guide them and help them ask, just like you do, ask the type of questions that they need so they can critically discern whether it is a platform they want to invest in. Because again, as a teacher, we're always trying to, with our students, trying to give them the information so they can generalize it and apply it to whatever problem they want to solve next. So
Make
that's
an educated decision.
exactly. So, and that's why I have to constantly learn, because again, there's so much going on. I have a variety of individuals that I've met around the world through my talk shows that I can also, if I don't have an answer, I can reach out to them and ask, okay, what about this? And
Yes.
like you said, we can't be an expert in everything, but we can know where to go for the resource. And that's true. I'm a lawyer. I can't know everything in law, but you get to know how to do your research in the law, your law library.
Yes.
So, and that's true with any field that you're in. You can become very knowledgeable, but you have to know where to go to get updated.
Yes. Yes. So you said that there was information in the thumbprint of this video. Tell us, how do we get your book? I mean, I know how I got it. I just went on Amazon. It was super easy. But is that the best way to do it?
Yeah, so I popped up here for those that are on the audio side, definitely hop on over to the video side. But the the way to get to Amazon is very easy. It's just bitcoincinderella.com, www.bitcoincinderella.com. And that is for the English version of the Bitcoin Cinderella. If you are looking for the bilingual versions, definitely put the name Bitcoin Cinderella into Amazon and the links will pop up. But right now, the bilingual links haven't been created yet. So right now it's just the this version.
And it's a book that can be passed around the family, right?
Yeah, yeah.
All
And
ages.
yeah, I love the hardcover. It's really, really nice. The soft cover is really great. The ebook is, I like that too, but I am a physical book person. And so I just like to be able to open up and read, and it's a lot of fun.
Are you scheduled to do any type of book signing, or does that not happen in 2022 with the environment?
Yeah, no, actually, thank you for asking about that. I am going to be actually at a conference in Los Angeles at the end of July 29th, 30th, and 31st. I'm actually a speaker. It's called the NFT Expoverse. And I will have a booth there and I'll be signing the books. And I'm also looking for, for if anyone's listening, I'm looking for sponsors for the giveaway of the books. And also the sponsors for the translation of the books, because I'm a firm believer that books should be translated into as many languages as possible. And my goal through the sponsorship is to have the books given away to families or, individuals that are at the various conferences that I'm going to. I have no problems with the idea of selling a book, but I really feel like this is more valuable than a hat. And so, again, so if I can have, a corporate sponsor, they'll be able to have their QR code within, so someone can actually go back to their website and learn more about that. So I'm talking to different companies right now. We'll see who actually ends up being a sponsor. But in the meantime, I'll definitely be at the event. It's an NFT event, but it's going to be talking about the metaverse and everything else. And that's just the first of many conferences I'll be at.
And not just for my clients and my circle, but anybody that's listening to this podcast, how do they get in touch with you? I know there's the QR code on the.
Yeah, the QR code goes actually, I think, right to the Bitcoin Cinderella Amazon link. If you're on the video side, it's really easy to find me. It's CryptoMom2. That's the number 2.com is my website. And if you want to send me an email, it's CryptoMom2consulting@gmail.com. And I know that, not to confuse you guys, but I do have 2 different emails because I have the travel side and then I have the crypto side. So if you are having a hard time remembering that, then just do JCooperTravels@gmail.com. And like I mentioned before, all those links will be down below. So make it really easy.
Oh, great. And I can be found at A6FinBiz, FINBIZ. That's my hashtag on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and I'll be featuring your book shortly after this video comes out. I'll be featuring it on the A6 LinkedIn page. So look for us there. Yeah.
So I'm curious, what was the not so much the best part of the book, but what questions did you have from the book? I love getting the feedback from everyone who's reading it.
I thought it strayed a little bit from the traditional Cinderella. I know you said you tried to stay to the story. I thought that it strayed a little bit. It was in a good way. It wasn't too much about the normal, oh, she has to clean the house and the stepsisters and the, and the stepmom and how they didn't let her dress for the ball. It didn't go down that rabbit hole and funnel that every other Cinderella story, right, goes on. It was more about the relationship with the wonderful relationship with her mom in the beginning, and how her mom, my favorite part was how she sort of had to choose between this exciting career and making a change in the world and her child. And I would love for you to circle back to how that ties together. I couldn't believe, I don't want to, there was a little bit of a twist in the book. I don't want to give it away. I don't want anyone to, spoiler alert. Anybody, but
so her mom had to make some choices. I mean, Samantha didn't realize, the conflict between her mom and her dad, in terms of the idea that her dad, even though her dad supported her mom in her vision, he was getting a little frustrated with the idea of Bitcoin, and he just didn't believe in it. And I guess, when you are passionate about helping people, and I know that the cryptocurrency area Bitcoin especially was created so individuals could have control over their own economics and their own finances, and it was independent of any government. And so that's why individuals are so passionate about the idea of not so much not being regulated, not because individuals don't think that consumers should be protected, but the idea that this is a space where the collective body makes decisions and it's not controlled by anyone. And the beauty about Bitcoin is that it has so many Bitcoin miners, and it has such a large community that I don't want to say that it can't be hacked, but the coin, wallets can definitely be hacked, but the coin itself and the coding that it has existed for 13 years has gotten stronger over time because of the open source and because of everyone coming together. And so it is adopted by different countries right now as currency, in El Salvador and some other countries. So, circling back to the book, the mom had had to make a choice. She knew the importance of developing this option for individuals who did not have bank accounts, who did not have the economic stability in their countries that we have. And so she decided to go out and not leave her daughter, but temporarily just kind of have an absence. But she left her a gift, and she left her a purse, an embroidered purse that had clues on how to find her. And so in those clues, Samantha had no idea what what all the words were or the numbers were. She had to kind of figure it out. And as a teenager, they do. And so she started doing research. And as a result of doing research, she went down what we call the rabbit holes. She was able to kind of discover different things. So, in many ways, it does remind me a little bit of Alice in Wonderland, in terms of.
I felt that a little bit too. I
Yeah.
felt that too. I don't want to give too much of the book away, but I love that CryptoMom2 made a cameo.
Yeah, I had to because of the
I
fact
thought that was wonderful.
Yeah, they, well, we knew that, in a Cinderella version, you have fairy godmother. So I had to think about, okay, what are the basic elements of the Cinderella story, and how do I integrate me and the knowledge that I have, even though I have to always give credit to all of my mentors in this area. So CryptoMom2 becomes the fairy godmother to help guide her. And, but at the same time, in Cinderella, there's a ball. And so, the traditional ball would have been at the palace. In this situation, it was simultaneously in the palace as well as in the metaverse. And, again, I was thinking about, okay, what are the basic elements I have to have? And then how do I incorporate the block, what's going on in the blockchain within the book? And
Very
that
clever and entertaining. Yes.
And that allowed me to define the various pieces. So NFTs take a spot here because of the fact that there's a timed NFT. So that way she can enter the metaverse and leave the metaverse, again. And then the glass slipper is a whole different thing that I kind of tweaked for the blockchain and that type of thing. So again, it's, the traditional ideas, but I wanted to make sure that it was both fun as well as educational.
Yes, well, we will look forward to number 2 to find out what happens next.
Thank you for have any other questions?
I was able to answer some of his just by now he had some really cute questions, like, so the author, does she have a daughter? Is that the daughter's name? How much of the story is real for her family?
Well,
so he had some really cute ones.
That's a really good question. So my daughter, I do have a daughter. Her name's not Samantha. She is mentioned though because she took the photographs. Her name's Ariana, and so given credit there. And some of what my daughter's interests are mentioned in the book because her passion and interest is protecting the environment and animals. And so that is something that Samantha's very passionate about. And the other thing that my daughter has in her room, and again, she's in her 20s now, but she still has it, is the chalk paint on the walls. So a lot of what was mentioned in there, the details come from, real life scenarios that I took from, her and her own experiences. So that was fun.
Oh, I'll give him those updates. That's really excellent. That's really excellent. Yes, he had some good questions. Are these pictures from your travels? I would assume yes, right?
Yes, they definitely are from my travels. And for anyone that is, interested in NFTs, they will be uploaded onto OpenSea and the NFT version shortly. And I've already created a Bitcoin Cinderella collection because again, those are memories that are unique to not just to me, but to the book as well.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Jacqui, for sharing your time and for continuing to educate all of us.
Yeah, my pleasure. I look forward to talking to you again about the next book.
Yes.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for being on. If you have questions, definitely reach out to Stacy and myself, and definitely like and subscribe. And remember, always be kind to yourself, be kind to others. We are definitely all connected and we're all part of one world. Have a great day. Thanks.